Hey guys, today I have an interesting video for you I think that will be helpful. Something I've noticed is that everyone talks about dating to marry and how that's the Christian thing, but I don't necessarily think that's right. And really, there's not a whole lot I can say to preface that, so let's just get into it. So, is dating to marry the goal? Is dating to marry really the goal? So I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to say no. Okay, dating to marry is not really the goal, and it is the goal. I think something that gets obscured is we miss a step. So there's a step missing when we say date to marry. So I think dating should be done in order to know the person, in order to know if you want to marry them. So we're missing a step. And this step is overlooked by both men and women. Okay, it's both sides of the equation that overlook this step. Men can go head over heels after a woman. They can invest everything. They can go over the top. They can spend way too much money. They can have their heart really invested. And then when the girl breaks it after 3 or 4 dates, they're not in a good place because they already invested everything in it because they were dating to marry. They were dating with what they thought was purpose, but they were missing a step. And the problem with men doing this is they can invest too much in a woman that's not going to go anywhere because they don't truly know the other person yet. They don't really know if the other person is truly godly, is truly a Christian the way they should be. They don't know whether the other person is going to make a good wife and a good mother because they don't really know the person yet. And being friends with somebody, is not enough. You have to delve deeper than just a couple dates where you talk about things. Even if you're asking good questions, it's not really enough just to ask good questions. There has to be a time equation in order to be actually able to get to know somebody. And I think another problem with this is women make a decision before they truly know anything about the man. Maybe this is just my assumption, but I think women decline a chance to go on a first date with somebody that they even consider nice or friendly, seem to be a good person, but they know nothing about them yet. And a problem is they're placing too much on the idea of dating. Well, I don't know if I would marry him. Well, the fact is, you don't know him yet. You don't know the other person yet. So it's reasonable that you don't know that you would marry him. And dating is not really a commitment. Going on a couple dates with somebody is not a big commitment. Okay? If you're interested, you should go on a date with that other person. If you're interested in getting married and they're a good person, okay, then you should go on a date with them. And that goes for both men and women. Men should be asking out women. If they're interested, then go on a date. Don't make too much out of it. Just one date. And I think there's a difference between dating and going on a date as well. But I think women will also make a decision where after a couple dates they'll decide, well, I don't really know. He doesn't really fit as many of my boxes that I'd like, so or it doesn't seem to. And if you're not asking good questions, if you're not delving into things, if you're not truly getting to know the other person, then what evidence, what knowledge are you basing that decision on? And I think ideally, okay, you could know a little more about the other person without having to date them. Ideally, more men and women would have good acquaintances, and they could date from that pool from somebody they already kind of know. They know what they do, they know where they go, they know where they live, coworkers or friends at school or something like that. But the sad fact is, we don't have those social circles anymore. Um, it used to be parents and friends. They used to be the majority of matchmakers. Even church used to help out. But in my generation, okay, in Gen Z, it's not the same anymore. Social circles aren't the same. Parents don't know, kids, their kids' age. Your friend circles aren't as expansive as they used to be. And part of it, I think, is some of it is our generation is so much smaller in proportion to previous generations. Um, so boomers, they were a huge part of the population when they were born. And traditionally, all growing societies, families have been bigger. So the kids are the biggest proportion of the population. And then when they grow up to adults, then the next biggest generation is their kids, and they're all having kids, right? So population is growing. So what that means is society has more kids. So there's more kids working at the store. There's more kids doing every part of society. They're all over the place. But I think a part of it is we're all isolated now because generations are smaller than they used to be. So that means families are smaller than they used to be. That means the amount of young single people is smaller than it used to be. So in some ways, it's large because we're in a big country, right? But there's nobody in your local community. It's harder to find those people in your local community that you could talk to. That even that you're just an acquaintance with, that you see or that you know with, you work with, you've been around. Um, so let me give you some dating advice. I think so. Date to know in order to marry. Okay, date with purpose, right? So don't abandon purpose in dating. Um, I'm not there yet. Okay, I'm still working on it, but you should still have purpose. The purpose should be to know the person, okay, and to live out your faith. Do not forget that part when you're dating somebody, because it's important. Live out your beliefs, live out your values. And your values are really just how your beliefs are acted out. When you make value decisions, you're showing how much your beliefs matter to you. So that's important. I would say date with inquisitive questions. When you're dating somebody, you're not just having fun. Okay, have fun. Have fun. Tell jokes. Be silly. Be a goofball. Whatever. But be sure to ask good questions in order to get to know the other person. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being a tad bit serious and asking some serious questions and getting down to the nitty gritty. Um, and this is often just the responsibility of men, but women should be involved in it too, right? You're putting something on the line, so you want to know the person that you're possibly going to marry, the person that you're dating, you're spending this time with. You want to know what they think. Um, so date while getting to know who the other person is, in multiple avenues, arenas, situations, circumstances, whatever you want to call it, venues. Um, don't just do it in one place. Don't just go to one restaurant. Enjoy. Do a walk. Do an activity. Do a game night with your friends. Make sure that you're getting to know who the other person is with other people, because it's not just what they think of you. They can love you. They can care about you, and so they're willing to be nice to you, be kind to you. But how do they treat other people? How do they act at church? Like, what do they do at church? Are they doing anything there? How do they act at game nights? Are they extremely competitive? Are they not competitive? How do they act around kids? Do they dislike kids and think they're a pain in the neck? You're going to see what people's true values are when you spend time with them, in important arenas. And just the idea of coffee dates or meal dates, they can only last so long. You have to branch out to where you truly get to know how the other person acts, in real everyday life. So the problem with dating to marry is truly you're skipping a step. Okay, you're dating in order to know the person if you want to marry them. So just consider those things, like and subscribe if that was helpful. Sorry, tongue twister there. Um, and comment if you have any other ideas or any other help that you can leave to any of the other viewers. Thank you for watching this video.